rare and balanced view on politics in today's world. Based on facts, born of rationality, common sense, and logic, providing context on today's events, this is American Perspective with Rick Thomas.
Hello everyone, and welcome to American Perspective. I just posted in the Rumble chat. I'm sweating here in the studio. I gotta tell you, it's hot here. They issued another heat warning for the Pacific Northwest. We're at, according to my temperature gauge, we're at like 86 right now. And yeah, that's hot. I'm sweating here in the studio. It's not good. I know my Florida contingent is like, yeah, whatever. That's nothing. That's wintertime. Oh, no. Yeah. May I have a severe thunderstorm? I actually like those. It was kind of weird earlier today. I didn't know. I don't know what the heck happened, but it seemed like we had a brownout and we lost power for like, I don't know, half a second or whatever. And yeah. Anyway. I'm getting a lot of crap in the chat over on Rumble. Hey, if you haven't signed up for Rumble yet, you should. Head on over to rumble.com, get yourself an account. It's free. And once you are signed up and signed in, of course, search up the American Perspective channel and hit that green follow button to get notified every time that I go. I usually put that at the end of the video, or at the end of the show, but I figured I might as well do it here. Programming note, tomorrow I have a meeting that popped up late yesterday, so unfortunately I will not be broadcasting tomorrow night. So no show for tomorrow. So hopefully I won't get too many tomatoes and onions and eggs, whatever else people throw at everybody. But there you go. Programming note, no show for tomorrow. Unfortunately, I have another engagement that I can't move. It's on somebody else's time, so I have to be respectful of that. All right, let's go ahead and get things kicked off. Tonight, oh yeah, turnips. There we go. Yeah, maybe the Whiskey Warriors will all get together, and the Whiskey Warrior P1s will all get together in your super secret chat and handle the show all on your own. I mean, you guys pretty much can recite all of most of my ads and stuff on your own. So anyway, oh yeah, and it will be with no pay apparently, according to the matriarch of the show. Anyway, all right, yeah, where was I? Oh, yeah, let's go ahead and get things kicked off with tonight. Tonight is Jarhead. Jarhead from over on Rumble is for tonight's Pledge of Allegiance. So if you are of mine, please stand, remove your hat if you're wearing one, like me. Place your hand over your heart and follow along with Jarhead as he recites the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, and of course, I thank you, Jarhead, for that wonderful rendition of the pledge. If you would like to hear your rendition of the pledge played here on the program, all you need to do is record yourself reciting or performing the pledge in your style. Take that audio file, video file, whatever kind of file, and attach it to an email. Send it off to me by addressing that email to fans, FANS, at AmericanPerspective.online. That's fans, FANS, at AmericanPerspective.online, and I will get you into the rotation as quickly as possible. I have 25 of the 26 that I am asking for. I just need one more to reach my goal of 26 in 2026. So if you haven't done one yet, I would appreciate it. And, of course, send it off to me. And if you use your phone, to record yourself reciting or performing the pledge, try using the share option. That's the SHARE option on your phone, and you should be able to type in FANS, FANS, at AmericanPerspective.online and send it off to me. So, at your earliest convenience. Alrighty, let's talk about tonight's headline sponsor, which is none other than The American View. You can find them on the web at theamericanview.com. That's theamericanview.com. You can go there and take a look at all of the wonderful things that these folks do and have for you. If formerly known as Institute on the Constitution, they have a vision, a new vision now. It is a nation of effective and influential contributors to American government, society, and culture, prepared by educational resources that are focused on the biblical and transformative heritage of America's founding. And I'll put that up there. That came from pilled.net. That's pilled.net. Go and check that out. PILLED.net. Anyway, you can start being a defender of truth, liberty, and God-given rights by picking up their U.S. Constitution course. That's go to theamericanview.com. And you'll be able to pick up the U.S. Constitution course. Now, this is the same course that the Institute on the Constitution had, just rebranded. And they have it right now for the 250th anniversary of our great country on sale for $76. You can try it out first before you buy. Try before you buy by going to their courses and U.S. Constitution course. You can see right up here. I'm putting it on the video. It's up in the upper left-hand corner of your screen. And you can learn from the founders by starting your constitutional journey by getting Lesson 1 for free. All you need to do is enter your first name, last name, email address, and click Get Lesson 1 free. And you will start with the first lesson of the nationally recognized 100% online Constitution course. You can see the quality and the plethora of information that they contain within it. And go and do that. Seriously. Give it a try. And it's 12 lessons for the entire course. Each lesson is roughly about 15 to 20 minutes long. And once you do that, you may want to take some of their other courses. And you also might want to join their community. You can donate or be a sponsor. You can become a member, or better yet, become an instructor. Leave a legacy, restore the constitutional republic, and prepare the future by hosting a course in your community. Go ahead and do that. It's real easy. It's 3 steps. So go to this video right here on the Become an Instructor page, and you'll learn how to become an instructor. And then they'll also give you can also check out the 5 tips for a successful class video. That's right here. 5 tips for a successful class. And then go and pick up their instructor kit. It is a comprehensive resource crafted to empower individuals who are passionate about the Constitution to share Constitution's significance with others. That's right. You can grab that instructor kit by heading over to their shop. There it is. There's the U.S. Constitution course. There's other educational resources available. They have self-evident apparel. The instructor materials is where you go and get that instructor kit. And then, of course, my personal favorite right above my head here, the Legacy Library. The Legacy Library is filled with all kinds of leather items. I love my leather. Anyway, you can get the Leather Declaration of Independence, the Leather Bill of Rights, the Leather Magna Carta, the Leather U.S. Constitution wall hanging. Oh, all of those, well, they're up there, but that's okay because you can take your Constitution with you every single day. All you have to do is purchase this fabulous leather-bound U.S. Constitution booklet. Got the entire U.S. Constitution within this book. And let's go ahead and talk about this. It's got 1/8 of an inch of Saddleback leather wrapped around pages that are water and tear resistant. No cheap glue here, folks. That is stitched all the way through the leather and the pages that contained within. G says stitching that holds together those sexy rounded corners. Don't forget the 100-year warranty. That's right. They warranty this product for 100 years. If you have a problem with either the materials or manufacturing, you can send it back to the manufacturer and they will either fix it or replace it for free. It is Buddy tested, Buddy approved, Billy tasted, Billy approved. My youngest whiskey warrior has confirmed that the information contained within will help you to achieve your civics badge in Scouts, or your civics exam, or your naturalization test. Hey, a 3-for-1. Why not? Why not go ahead and get yourself a copy of this fantastic booklet that you can carry with you all over the place. It's pocket-sized, man, I'm telling you. And you know, I've heard from my whiskey warriors that if you hand it over to a leftist lunatic, they will all of a sudden get gastrointestinal distress. So it's a defense mechanism, too. Head on over to theamericanview.com. Go to shop, go to Legacy Library, and pick yours up today. And just head on over to theamericanview.com and check out all of their products and services that they have available, their classes, their information, all of their books. It's just a fantastic website. Theamericanview.com, brought to you by The American View. And I thank them for being a sponsor of this program. Alrighty. Well, you know, I struggled a little bit to get the title for this show. I was bouncing between importing the third world, get the third world, and I ended up where I was at. Now, when I'm talking about polite society, I'm not talking about, you know, old English polite society. I'm talking about polite society from the standpoint of, you know, being able to, like, walk the streets without having fear for your life, being able to live in a neighborhood without having to have fear of being broken into, or having your things stolen. I'm talking about just a polite, respectful society. And I'm not saying that we have walked away from that. However, there are plenty of places in this world, in this country, that have walked away from that. They have just abandoned it completely. And what's interesting about it is, although the mainstream media wants to tell you it's all over the place, it's everywhere. It's everywhere in America. It's not. It's actually contained to small areas. Unfortunately, over time, especially in the last, 10, 15 years, 20 years, we're starting to see that that is no longer contained, that this is now starting to spread everywhere. And part of it is because of the fact that we did try and import the third world. And we are ending up with the third world. What am I talking about? Well, take a look at what happened over in New York City. Here in the New York Post, armed loon sets off an incendiary device. It wasn't an incendiary device. He basically dumped gas on the steps and lit the gas on fire. He actually, even at one point in the video, he lights himself on fire, but he quickly puts it out. Here's the video of it. And here he is. He's walking up. See that gas can? He's got this big old gas can. And there he goes. He dumps it. I don't know what the bottles were. It's a bucket. There he goes. Oh, there's his flame on his heel as he walks away. Yep. Now, this happened in the front of the federal building in New York City. There happens to be an ice facility there. Now, they caught the guy. They caught him. It didn't take much because, let's face it, there's cops everywhere in this area. But they went ahead and they caught the guy, and lo and behold, guess what the guy is? Oh. He, first of all, is a former U.S. Army soldier and National Guardsman. But he's a veteran from Poughkeepsie, apparently. And he is anti-American, anti-government extremist, they say, according to this. But apparently, he also apparently had various weapons, 2 axes, a hammer, a machete, 3 fixed-bladed knives, as well as 6 different incendiary devices. Yeah, he, I don't know. This guy is just weird. This guy is just, I mean, we're setting up, see, that's the problem, is we're setting up the permission structures because of what the left is doing. We're setting up the permission structures to allow these people to do all of this. Oh, and apparently he was also carrying what appears to be 2 pellet guns and a manifesto. People are crazy. I'm telling you. People are crazy. Now, as of right now, the charges have not been officially filed just yet. But anyway, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with these people. I mean, what's going on with this, you know, this culture, this society that we have. Well, Tom Homan, of course, he actually corrected the record and went off on some Dem leaders because of the fact that, well, guess what? He had what was described as anti-ICE rhetoric and stuff. Here is Tom Homan.
Law enforcement sources telling Fox News Digital that there was anti-ICE stuff on him. That's about all we know. Can you add any further detail to that? What exactly was the content?
I don't want to get ahead of the FBI in this. I simply don't know. I just got advised of this before it came out the North Lawn. But again, why does he think ICE is bad? Why does he want to attack ICE? Again, because the last year and a half, all he's heard from Democratic members of Congress and sanctuary city mayors and governors is that ICE is not a real law enforcement agency. ICE is separating families. ICE arresting people in churches and hospitals, which is none of it's true. So I'm sure he's been educated by the wrong people, and that's why he's chosen to take action. Because every time they talk about this hateful rhetoric rises, there's that small percentage on the far left who will take some sort of ridiculous action because they feel emboldened because members of Congress are agreeing with him that ICE needs to go away.
And there you go. So what happens when you decide, and I'm talking about the left, when you decide to just let polite society go? Well, that's the result. Here's the result. You have people who are emboldened and are able to go and, do these things, these horrific things. Now, there were a couple people injured. Nobody was killed, but there were a couple people injured. And, yeah. Anyway, Zoran Mondani had his words to say. He goes, what occurred outside 26 Federal Plaza this morning was deeply disturbing. I'm relieved no one was seriously injured and that the suspect is in custody. My team is in touch with the NYPD, and we will support the federal investigation. Our administration will continue to ensure that every New Yorker is safe in their city and hold accountable any who threaten that. But yet you're a sanctuary city mayor. Oh, I got an idiot over in YouTube land. Doesn't really surprise me any. They first of all, in order, okay, I got to address this. I really do. Here you go. I don't even know if I want to read it, but you can. Here's the thing, Mr. or Mrs. or whatever you call yourself. You could be a dog for all I know. Here's the truth. ICE does not murder people in the streets. In order to be murdered, one must be innocent. When you go up against federal law enforcement trying to stop them from doing their jobs and doing it using a weapon of any kind, guess what? You're going to suffer the consequences. So there you go. All right. I've given him his 5 minutes of, or 5 seconds of fame. So, maybe he'll, if he doesn't go away, I'll take care of it. Anyway, here we go. It was somebody over on YouTube, you know, because YouTube and Facebook, they can't stand hearing the truth. All right. Here's another reason why you have people who are, you know, given up polite society. Here's another one. And no, I mean, it's bad enough that illegal aliens have been killing innocent women across the board, but here is another one, another example of why we shouldn't be allowing these people into our country. Apparently, an illegal alien who Biden let in executed an Air Force veteran on his front porch. Now, this is murder. Okay, by definition, this is murder. Right here. And unfortunately, a Ring camera recorded the whole thing. Apparently, a decorated Air Force veteran gunned down on his own front porch in broad daylight simply for hanging decorations. 71-year-old Randy Whitten, a 20-year military veteran, was shot multiple times from behind in West Point, Utah on May 30th, according to the Department of Homeland Security. The man charged in his murder is a Salvadoran illegal alien with a violent criminal history. Oh, but I hear all the stats. Oh, illegal aliens don't commit crimes. Bull crap. Anyway, according to the DHS, this guy entered the U.S. illegally in 2021, was released by the Biden administration. Yep. And then let back onto the streets twice more by California sanctuary officials after a pair of domestic violence arrests. Gee, I wonder. This, despite detainers being lodged against him by ICE following both arrests. Hey, we know he's illegal. We know he's a criminal. We know he's violent. Let's get him out of the country. That's what ICE is doing. But no. So he apparently, and never should have been allowed on our streets, by the way. And you know, if California had just complied with ICE, like the first time or even the second time, he wouldn't have killed this Air Force veteran. No. Anyway. So on the day of the attack, the Air Force veteran was standing on his front porch, quietly hanging decorations, when a maroon Honda Civic pulled up across the street. The man jumped out of the passenger seat, walked right up behind him, and then fired 10 rounds into his back. His ring, the veteran's Ring doorbell captured the entire attack, according to a local media reporting. So there you go. Yeah. Anyway. Oh, these people. Again, you give up on polite society. Now, keep in mind, polite society requires a certain level of following the law. of creating and following law. That is what polite society do. Okay? And yeah, I can't believe this. How the left can sit here and think that this is acceptable behavior. Well, then again, they are the party of violence, and they do believe that that violence against their enemies is nothing but helpful in the grand scheme of things. So anyway, well, I don't know if anybody has caught this. I just did, but I don't know if anybody else did. Speaking of the illegal aliens and the lack of polite society, and that's a very big word. They're small words for a very big subject, big topic. But apparently back in 2024, Ruby Garcia was driving along with her boyfriend. I will say this guy's name. 26-year-old Brandon Ortiz Vite. I think that's how it's pronounced. Vite, whatever. They were arguing about something, and during that argument, Vite pulled out a gun and shot Garcia multiple times, including in the head. Then he took her body out of the car and drove off. Her body was later found along the side of the Grand Rapids, Michigan highway. Now, Ruby Garcia was just 25 years old. Vite later pleaded guilty to the murder, was sentenced to 39 years in a Michigan prison. You may recall this story because Donald Trump used Garcia's murder as proof that America needed tougher immigration laws. Well, this individual named Vite, he's a Mexican national, and he had previously been deported but was let back into the country under the Biden administration. President Trump showed a picture of this guy while making his case for immigration enforcement. And now this guy is attempting to sue President Trump. He's demanding $75.5 million, an apology, and he wants U.S. citizenship. He claims that because he was mentioned during the 2024 campaign, it, quote, shattered his dignity and brought shame to his family. No, asshole, your actions shattered whatever dignity you thought you had and brought shame to your family. Doesn't have anything to do with what's going on. But he's suing. And I can almost guarantee you there'll be a judge somewhere that'll say, yeah, we're going to let him sue because, you know, Donald Trump should never have said anything about him other than the fact that, you know, he was already convicted because he pleaded guilty. I mean, seriously. But this is what happens. And apparently, Vite says he was mocked and made an outcast by fellow inmates when he was housed at the Kent County Correctional Facility, that he was a political sacrifice who made the plea deal due to the publicity surrounding the case. No, you idiot. You pulled the freaking trigger on your girlfriend because you guys got into a simple argument. That's why you were there. Yeah, the only reason that you were mentioned anyway was because of the fact that you decided to break our immigration laws. You decided to murder your girlfriend in cold blood, dumping her body on the side of the road. You made your bad choices. Just like all of those other people who have been interacting with law enforcement, you made your choices. See, life is about a choice. Every single day you make choices. They can be simple ones. Like, what am I going to eat for breakfast? Oh, I think I'm going to have eggs and bacon. Or maybe you decide I'm going to have oatmeal. And then there's the choice of, oh, I'm going to go break a law and then try to shoot a police officer. Yeah. Sane people, polite society doesn't try and attempt to do that, folks. And this is exactly what happens when you move on from polite society. Well, it's amazing. There are some people in this world who are actually starting to realize that, maybe some of this is of our own doing. Maybe if we could actually, change certain cultures, life would be so much better. So there's this woman. She happens to be black. And she's taking a lot of crap online because she posted a TikTok video where she was literally honest about her situation. Now, this is another vodcaster over on YouTube did this video or showed this video. And I just want to play her part of it because he's also black, and this is part of a series of examples that he is basically setting and trying to say that, hey, you know what? Maybe if we were a little bit smarter, meaning polite society or society in general, was a little smarter, we might be able to actually do something about this. Let's take a listen to what this lady has to say.
And y'all know I've been talking about leaving the East Coast, which I did, and now I'm over here on the West Coast. And I'm going to tell you what's crazy. There are hardly no black people over here. There's only 2 black people in my whole development, and I've only seen 1 black person, and that he works at Publix. I'm in a 99% white town, white community, and it's quiet, it's clean, it's peaceful, ain't no damn interruptions, disturbances, or discrepancies. Why in the hell can't we be like that in the black damn neighborhood? It's a damn shame we have to move to the other side of the world just to get and be and live the way life was meant to damn be. And that's sad. I've never lived around white people before, and I got to actually say, it's very pleasurable. Message.
Yeah. It's very pleasurable message. Yeah. You know what, though? What's really weird, and I'm going to be... Here we go. It's really weird. Oh, my gosh. It's really weird. I moved to a place where people actually want to live in peace and quiet. Yeah, it's amazing. Well, you know what? She's just one example. But there was another example. And this one happened 13 years ago. 13 years ago. This guy, and I'm going to play this entire clip. This guy is another black man, very well-known black man, who is a complete, utter stupid moron now because he decided to forget the lessons that he actually put out in this segment. Take a listen.
Because black people, if you really want to fix the problem, here's just 5 things that you should think about doing. Here's number 5. And if this doesn't apply to you, if you're not doing this, then it doesn't apply to you. I'm not talking about you. Here's number 5. Pull up your pants. Walking around with your ass and your underwear showing is not okay. In fact, it comes from prison when they take away belts from the prisoner so that they can't make a weapon. And then it evolved into which role a prisoner would have during male-on-male prison sex. The one with the really low pants is a submissive one. You get my point? Number 4 now is the N-word. By promoting the use of that word when it's not germane to the conversation, have you ever considered that you may just be perpetuating the stereotype the massa intended, acting like a nigger? Now, number 3, respect where you live. Start small by not dropping trash, littering in your own communities. I've lived in several predominantly white neighborhoods in my life. I rarely, if ever, witness people littering. I live in Harlem now. It's an historically black neighborhood. Every single day, I see adults and children dropping their trash on the ground when a garbage can is just feet away. Just being honest here. Number 2, finish school. You want to break the cycle of poverty? Stop telling kids are acting white because they go to school or they speak proper English. A high school dropout makes on average $19,000 a year. A high school graduate makes $28,000 a year. A college graduate makes $51,000 a year. Over the course of a career, a college grad will make nearly $1 million more than a high school graduate. That's a lot of money. And number 1, and probably the most important, just because you can have a baby, it doesn't mean you should, especially without planning for one or getting married first. More than 72% of children in the African American community are born out of wedlock. That means absent fathers. And the studies show that lack of a male role model is an express train right to prison. And the cycle continues.
It's kind of amazing that, Don Lemon just summed up in 5 points what I'm talking about when it comes to polite society. He just summed all of this up when talking about polite society. And not only that, but Don Lemon, or Lemming, because he's a lemming now, he follows the sycophantic left. Don Lemming actually hit on 3 things in particular that Ben Shapiro keeps talking about and takes a lot of crap off of. 1, go to school, graduate. 2, get married. And 3, don't have a kid out of wedlock. Those are the proven points to success in this country. Now, it doesn't mean that every single one that if you don't get married or whatever, that every single one is going to necessarily affect your outcome. No. But the point is that if you do just those 3 things, chances are you have a much better chance at a successful life than if you don't. So, yeah. Julie Piatti, he did that in 2013. So, and by the way, I mean, keep in mind, I'm just saying, that having a college degree, especially nowadays, really isn't, I mean, it is, but, having some sort of secondary education, let's just put it that way. Whether it's college or whether it's trade school or something outside of high school, outside of the basics. If you go and decide to go somewhere else, if you go and decide to go somewhere with your career and you get extra training outside, great. And that's the whole point. But this is what happens. What you're seeing right now, what you're seeing today in America is a combination of several things. One is that we've given up on polite society. 2, we've decided to import, for reasons beyond my comprehension, because I'm not a leftist idiot, we've decided to import the third world. And by importing the third world, I'm not just talking about bringing people in legally. I'm saying just massively bringing in massive amounts of people into our country who have literally zero connection culturally to us. Some people might think, well, boy, that's pretty snobbish. No, actually it isn't. Because regardless of what other people think, even though America is a melting pot, the part that they miss is that the purpose of the melting pot is to dump all of the bad stuff about your culture or your society as you're coming in, dump all the bad, keep the good and come in and infuse good with good. That's what is supposed to happen here in America. That's what the whole idea, that's the whole idea of the melting pot. See, it's not just to bring in a culture that has no assimilation factor into us, okay, into America. Like places that are from, say, the Middle East, places like the Haitian community, which, by the way, I don't know if anybody saw this, but I think, and I don't know if this is 100% correct, but there have been some unconfirmed reports that about 80% of the Haitian community that was in Ohio has self-deported now that they've lost their TPS status. See, the reason these people come here is not to assimilate. The reason these people come here on these specialized programs is to gain free stuff. They don't want to come and live here. And that's the problem. See, we should be letting people in who want to live here, who want to come to America and have the American dream. But we're not. Especially under the Democrat leftist lunatics. We're not doing that. But that's just one example. There's other examples, like Dearbornistan. That's another one. You know, these people don't seem to get it. And now we have things like the Democrat Socialists of America, which apparently I've been hearing, and again, I don't know this 100%, but I've been hearing the Democrat Socialists of America actually began or were started by bringing in people from Cuba who were sent here to specifically subvert by the Cuban government to come here and specifically subvert America. Well, the Democrats are starting to find out that, well, this is pretty much exactly what is going on in here. That this is exactly what is happening. Because even they, and some of them, are starting to call this out. I mean, I told you about Van Jones. I played you the video of Bill Maher. Well, now here's another one. You remember that old white guy that represented Memphis, that one black district in Memphis? Remember that old white guy that was there for 20 years? Yeah. Stephen Cohen. Remember him? You know, he tried to become part of the Congressional Black Caucus. Well, apparently, Cohen just announced last year that he wasn't going to seek re-election because his district got redistricted. Okay. But then he goes and he says, well, you know, I already saw a much bigger problem coming down the pike. Here's what he says. He says, quote, I foresaw it getting really nasty and anti-Semitism getting into it. He said he already watched that anti-Semitism spread throughout his party rank and file up close, which is exactly why the Socialist Caucus stopped feeling like home. So he left. He left the Congressional Progressive Caucus, which is interesting that they describe themselves as progressive when they're actually regressive. But he left the Congressional Progressive Caucus last year. And some of the things he was saying is that, hey, you know, I was no longer there. I was no longer a part of the progressives, which is what Van Jones was talking about. Van Jones is like, no, your ideas, the Democrat Socialists of America's ideas are actually regressive, not progressive. Now, keep in mind, I mean, Cohen himself He was one of only 22 Democrats who were willing to censure Representative Rashida Tlaib after she defended the From the River to the Sea chant. Now, again, I'm just going to point this out. I don't even understand how she can even be in Congress. Because to be in Congress, you have to take an oath of office. That oath of office requires you to support and defend the Constitution of the United States. You openly talk about removing the Constitution and getting rid of it. That's not supporting and defending. So you have obviously and immediately violated your oath the second that you say that. Anyway. By the way, I just want to point out, does anybody remember Project 2025 and how the left went so nuts over Project 2025 without even reading it? Everybody was talking about Project 2025 and how it was so bad for the country and everything else. But yet when you looked at it as a conservative, you were like, hey, well, okay, I agree with about 80% of this, 90%, whatever the percentage was. Maybe some people even said, hey, I agree 100%. The point is that the think tank that created Project 2025, which, by the way, they've been making it ever since the 1980s. It's been that way since, well before all of this crap has come along. It was back when the Democrats were actually intelligent Americans rather than the stupid socialist Marxists that we have today. But all of that being said, I guess the Democrats or the leftists, the lunatics, the socialists, the Marxists said, hey, that idea of Project 2025, boy, that's a good one. We like it. In fact, we like it so much, they've created Project 2029. Don't believe me? Here's their website. Now, this is deep in their website. Here's some of their founding pillars that they are going to do here. Oh, they want to limit the influence of money, power brokers, and foreign interests in American politics. Yeah, that's where all of your Democrat funding comes from. Good luck with that one. Oh, make sure that every voice has a chance to be heard and citizens can exercise their constitutional and democratic rights. Unless it revolves around requiring voter ID for citizens to vote and Americans exercising their constitutional and democratic right to own a firearm regardless of where they are or what kind of firearm it is. Yeah, okay. They want to make sure everyone pays their fair of taxes, their fair share of taxes, I should say. Yeah. Okay. So then does that mean that you're going to instill a, 30% tax across the board, no matter how much money you make? Because America has the most progressive tax system in the world. And, the upper levels and echelons pay about somewhere between 34 to 38% in income tax directly. And also, the bottom 50% of all, quote, taxpayers don't even pay any tax. The vast majority, and this is through IRS data, the vast majority of taxes are actually paid by the top 10% of earners. Okay, yeah. Ensuring fair pay for all workers. Oh, so everybody who works and agrees to get paid a certain amount, that's not called fair? You and your employer have come to an agreement? I mean, if you don't want to do the job at, $15 an hour, you are free to leave. Yeah. Now, here's where things get off kilter as well. They want to strengthen the social safety net and enable people to better manage risk. I got an idea. You want to do that? Make them work. Get off welfare. Quit the social programs. That's what's going to take care of that. That's what's going to take care of that. And this is just the start. Now down here, providing human security. And this one is really going to be a bad one for the tech bros. Protect personal data and privacy by preventing governmental, corporate, and foreign surveillance. So in other words, you're planning by these people, you're planning on handing over your phone, your computer, your television, anything else that's going on. Ooh, for this week, for the next 2 days, I could jump onto this one. Oh yeah, combat the climate crisis to ensure the next generation inherits a habitable planet. Okay, explain to me what the climate crisis is. I mean, yeah, I'm hot today, but guess what? It's called summer. Oh, promote safe communities and prevent mass shootings. So, you're in Project 2029. You're going to, let's see, incarcerate criminals. You're going to deal with the mentally ill, which, by the way, is, a vast majority of your party. You're going to focus on faith, family, and community support. And then you're going to go and harden schools, because that's harden schools and soft targets. Yeah, that's what's going to go on. You're actually going to start like putting police out on the streets. You're going to pay for police to be there and quit giving away or letting criminals out of jail. Sure. No, actually they're not, because right over here about pursuing justice, they want to provide nonviolent imprisoned people with the opportunity to earn a chance to reintegrate into society. They want to redirect our tax dollars into rehabilitation and harm reduction instead of the prison. Yeah. They also want to ensure the rule of law is applied equally to all people. Yeah. Your idea of applying the rule of law to everyone equally is not what you're talking about here. See, all of these points sound good. They sound good because they're bullet points. They're bullet points. And I don't know how they're going to come up with this. They want to strengthen border integrity, and this is the key. They want to create a clear pathway to citizenship. We already have a clear path to citizenship. Oh, wait a minute. They want to do that for long-standing U.S. residents who are lacking documentation. In other words, they want to do that for illegal aliens. Yeah. No. That's okay. Good luck with your Project 2029, folks. Good luck with that. That's all I'm going to say. Oh, we pick a lot on some of the other cultures that are coming into our society, like the Middle East and everything else, except we also have to understand that there's an ally of ours that is taking advantage of us again. Now, this is kind of odd. This comes from the Western Journal. And I'm not exactly sure what to do with this, to be honest with you, but here, damning new H-1B data. Up to 90% of applications were fraudulent. So for those of you that don't know, in order to get an H-1B visa, you have to demonstrate that you are highly skilled in a professional field of some kind. That you have certain skills that are of desire here in the United States. And that we should be bringing you here because we're looking for the best and the brightest. Well, here recently, a massive education ring in India has been exposed for selling counterfeit university degrees that enabled unskilled workers to score well-paying mid-level technical jobs in the United States by abusing the H-1B program. Investigators have seized nearly 100,000 fake degree certificates and forged academic documents linked to at least 28 universities from across India, according to the outlet American Bazaar. Authorities allege that some fraudulent credentials may have been used to support applications for U.S. H-1B visas, one of the primary pathways for highly skilled foreign workers seeking employment in America. The scammers apparently sold the fake degrees for as little as $1,400 to Indian nationals who used their sham credentials to secure jobs in medicine, engineering, and nursing. Wow. See, this is what happens when you give up on polite society. And by polite society, I mean truth, ethics, morals, standards, etc. By the way, according to this layoff hedge, they say up to 71% of all H-1B applicants are from India. Apparently, one Indian university alone sold over 36,000 fake degrees. So, yeah. The fake degrees apparently featured counterfeit university seals, fabricated certificates, and forged school transcripts. Yeah. Not only does systemic, and this is from the outlet, not only does systemic fraud enable the mass replacement of American workers, but it also endangers public safety by hiring unqualified workers to fill technical jobs. Yeah. The Department of Labor processed 6.9 million labor filings for H-1B visa holders since 2015, according to Fox News reporting in June. A whopping 70% of those came from India, while 12% were from China. Yeah. Anyway, folks, we got to be a lot more vigilant on these things. We got to be a lot more vigilant on who we let into this country now. We really do. We're not getting assimilated society. We're getting essentially the third world. This is something that we need to pay attention to. I mean, it's bad enough that we have it in our own American cities in certain places. That's a cultural thing, not a racial thing, but that's a cultural thing. That black woman who was talking about how she moved from the East Coast over to the West Coast and everything was all wonderful and hunky-dory, and yeah, that's culture. That's not skin color. That's culture. So, here you go. Alrighty, folks. Remember, no show for tomorrow. I have a meeting I need to go to. It's going to interfere with me getting online and ready to go on time. So, no show tomorrow. I will see you Thursday. Okay? No show tomorrow. I will see you Thursday. If you haven't already, head on over to rumble.com, get yourself an account. It is free. And once you are signed up and signed in, make sure that you search for the American Perspective channel and hit that green follow button every time that I go live to get notified every time I go live. Also, too, before you take off, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or in the case of 3 Chevy, a thumb sideways or maybe at an angle across all my platforms, whether it's X, YouTube, Facebook, pilled.net, 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 and of course the aforementioned Rumble. We will see you Thursday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on American Perspective. Have a great rest of your evening, and good night, everybody.